How are you supposed to get the pin out? So right now I'm under the wing. I removed the fasteners for the radar Bonzer, which is the altimeter radar or radar altimeter. It's basically an altimeter that works based on ground radar signal that bounces off the earth. It tells you how high you are. Anyway, it's useful, but this one is old, and it has this basically antenna that protrudes, and it's quite heavy actually, this item. Let's see if they say how heavy it is, the usual trick. Yeah, 1.5 pounds, and that's probably a 2-pound system total with what was in the front. So this is some additional weight that I'm removing. I just want to remember with this video which wires I'm pulling. I think this is the ground. Makes sense. And these other wires are tied into each other and won't be needing them, so we kind of have to repurpose them, which I don't like doing, or I can pull them all the way out. Anyway, that's for that. And then the other treat today was basically finding this mouse nest, rat's nest. It looks more like mice actually, or some other type of rodent. It came out of the belly of the airplane because the pressure vessel is here, and here you can see that there's a space in between for all the equipment. Anyway, the mouse nest was here. I don't know if I can show you. Let's see if I can get the camera up there. Nope, not able to get you the camera up here. But anyway, it was in here. I still need to do some cleaning and make sure that the nest wasn't bigger. I didn't find any mouse poop, or rodent poop I should say, but there's some other stuff that I removed. I managed to remove the vertical fin antenna, the remains of which are here, and I was able to remove it, not without difficulty. There was no easy way to get to the bolts that were had a nut on the end on the opposite side, and so basically I would have had to reach inside to unscrew the nuts, but untighten the nuts, but I wasn't able to. Couldn't reach through either of these inspection holes. So in the end, I used my trusted friend, Mr. Grinder, and I was very careful. As you can see, I made a little bit of a mess, but I was able to grind away some of it and reveal the threaded bolt, which was embedded in the plastic here, and I was able to destroy that and get it out the difficult way. So yeah, that's what I've been up to in the last few days. Now it doesn't look like the vertical, what do they call it? Let me check. The vertical measuring equipment. It doesn't look like it was an add-on. It actually looks like this may have been installed at the factory, because we can see that it was obviously painted afterwards. If it was only the inspection cover, I would maybe doubt that, but since the inspection cover, where it overlapped, it was the paint, there's no paint. So I'm thinking, yeah, this was factory installed option. However, they made a big hole in this inspection cover, so I'm going to remove the inspection cover and we're going to try and make a new one. We'll see how well that works out. So now I switched over to the right wing. I was looking for the strobe wheeling because it wasn't functioning anymore. And instead what I found was the magnetic slave for the HSI or RMI, I believe. So this was to detect magnetic north, presumably, but I thought there was one in the back. So anyway, I'm going to take this off because I'm not quite sure what it is, but I'm pretty sure we don't need it in the airplane anymore, but I've never seen one of these. So yeah, here it is. It's a KM110 magnetic azimuth transmitter. pretty good wires here. Pretty beefy actually. All the way through the fuselage. And I guess for clean signal, they don't have any splitters or anything, but I'm gonna take this off. So pretty interesting. I mean, they make them much smaller now, but basically that was the idea back then. Yeah. And you can make adjustments here. Interesting. It's heavy. I want to say it's almost a pound. Keep saving weight on this airplane. All right, so I opened the last panel on the right wing, and there we go. We have the power supply, danger high voltage, Hoskins. It says remove power, wait 2 minutes. Well, we've removed power for at least 2 months, so we're good. So is this for the strobe? Possible. It's going in direction of the light, yeah. We'll have to see which part it connects to. I'm going to open up this light and see which part this this white cable connects to. So no, this cable doesn't goes through to the LED, and the strobe has 3 wires. Interesting. So this is obviously the power supply to the wing lights. Why would you need a power supply high voltage to the wing lights? Doesn't make sense to me. I'm going to look this up. Okay. So that's ground, obviously, because it's grounded to the airplane. And this is power in. And this should be connected to the strobe, because this is for strobe power. So if my strobes weren't working, now we know why. But since I was going to upgrade to a system, LED system with strobe lights integrated, I probably won't need this, but I'll do more research on that before taking this off. But clearly this should be connected, and it isn't, because strobes were never working when I got the airplane. So we'll figure that out here shortly. So just to confirm, when I tug on this, it's actually tugging here, and you can see that the nav power is split. So it feeds the strobe box and it feeds the nav light. I'm not sure if that's normal, if it should be tied into the nav light like that, or if it should have its own separate power supply. Not to mention, how would it know when to turn the strobes on? So here you can see, pulling on this wire, and it turns this wire is connected to the strobe. So when I turn the nav lights on from here, that would mean that I'm turning on the strobe at the same time. That's weird. That can't be. That doesn't make sense. So they had it wired strange. And then my strobe is disconnected altogether. But if I fish around in here, yeah, If I fish around in here, I think I'll be able to find the other end of this. Actually, why don't I do that right now? Yeah. And what happened basically is somebody disconnected it. So this strobe is not even connected. That's why it wasn't working. But it looks like there's no strobe wire through the wing. So in the new system, will I need a strobe? I'll have to look into that. Do I need a strobe, or is my tail beacon legal enough? It's an old tail beacon, but I could upgrade that to an LED one. Right now, when that was working, it would make a grinding noise when it was rotating, so it's obviously got to be serviced. But yeah, this is making me question what's going on with the strobe system. I had questions I wanted to say that I was wondering why it wasn't working, and now I know it just simply wasn't connected. And if there was a separate strobe switch, what was the purpose of that? Because it's directly tied into the nav light for power. So you'd have to turn the nav light on to get the strobe. And that's not always appropriate. Is there a year on this? No, I don't see a year, I don't see a date. Maybe if I unscrew it, maybe there's a label on the inside. Let's go ahead and do that. Yep. All right, so I got it off. I simply cut it. And I tried undoing these screws, but they would just spin endlessly. So I took off the 3 screws from here. So I'm going to try and pry that off. See what it looks like. It's probably dangerous. If you it says to wait, so there's probably a capacitor in there, or an accumulator that accumulates electricity and then discharges it all of a sudden for the strobe at a higher power. So you wouldn't want to do this as per the instructions here. But I need that inspection plate cover. So yep. And I think those are capacitors. That's what's dangerous. So you don't want to touch those. But I think they've discharged a long time ago. We can test them with a voltmeter. And then, yep, there's nuts, which I have to get to be able to untighten those. All right. So I was able to save the cover. Inspection cover, and here's the box, here's the capacitor. Next thing we need to do is just measure the voltage, make sure this thing is safe before I handle it. So I just finished measuring the voltage, and there was no significant voltage coming off those capacitors, so we're good to chuck it away. Okay, now same thing on the left, and I think it's underneath here, the power supply to the strobe, which if it's disconnected as well, then that was purposely disconnected. And we'll research whether or not we need strobes or beacon, or what's the legal requirement later today. Yep, same deal. This one was disconnected as well. So not sure why, but maybe it was tripping the electrical system. When I was using the lights, I was having the breaker for the nav lights was tripping, and it turned out that it was one of the lamps, the bulbs. I forget if it was the left or the right side that was drawing a lot of current, so it may have been shorting or something. Anyway, when I replaced with the LEDs, no longer had that problem. But I'm wondering if the previous owner or one of the previous owners had had the same problem. They couldn't figure it out, and they thought maybe it was the strobe that was doing it, and so they disconnected the strobe. But these strobes are probably just fine. But I'm going to go with something modern anyway, and I'm not sure I need the strobe, to be honest, with a rotating beacon. We'll find out when I look it up online.